Hey guys, Jake here. I just wanted to uh, come in before the video starts real quick because when I started this and was filming it, I didn't realize exactly how long it was going to end up being. So just so you're aware, this is a fairly long video and it's mostly just me yapping at the camera. So feel free to check the chapters and skip ahead or do whatever you need to make this more palatable. This is more or less a vlog for myself in the future so that I can remember all the stuff that happened. Um, so I wouldn't expect this to be common content, but you're more than welcome to watch, and I hope you find something interesting and fun about my trip to Worlds. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to throw this in there before you end up half an hour into this thing saying, what is going on? So anyway, enjoy, and I'll talk to you later. Hey guys, Jake here. It's been a while, but I'm back. Today I'm bringing you a video chronicling my trip out to AM Worlds. I qualified with enough points in 2021 to play in the PDGA Amateur Disc Golf World Championships for 2022 in Indiana, so here I am. I'm probably just going to be stitching together some B-roll or something from some practice footage, talking a little bit about the courses, and sort of my experience with AM Worlds, just in case somebody coming along decides to try to go and play it next year or the year after. They have a little bit better understanding of how it works and what's involved. So yeah, we'll get into it. So first of all, I'll talk about how you qualify. And keeping in mind that this is the information from 2021 going to the 2022 Worlds. I know it's changed at least somewhat already, and I'm sure it will change more every year. But the way it worked for me is you had to earn a certain number of points. I think it was 1,500 points or something. And the way you earn points is by playing PDGA sanctioned tournaments. And those points that you get are based on the tier of the event and the number of people that you beat, essentially. So given that information, there's a few ways that you can qualify for AM Worlds. The first is to just be really good, right? If you're a really good player, you can probably go and play a few tournaments and get your points, and you'll probably be okay. The only time that's not enough is if you're in a sort of a disc golf market that doesn't have a ton of players, then it might be hard to get enough points from playing local tournaments. You might have to go find a bigger tournament. But it can be done. And the nice part is it doesn't matter what level of AM division you play in to get those points. At the AM Worlds, there's only two divisions. There's MA1 and FA1, right? So there is no MA2, MA3. But if you play MA2, MA3 throughout the previous season, those points also count towards getting into the MA1 division. So you don't have to play all in MA1 to get the points. So if there's a tournament near you and there's not enough people in one division, you could hop into a different one, preferably not sandbagging, but you can earn your points kind of in a few different places. The other way that you can get in, which is a way, maybe not as great a way to get in, but it works and the PDGA allows it, is you can just play a lot. If you go to a lot of tournaments, you should get your 1,500 points. Or if you just go to really big tournaments, a couple big tournaments can be enough to get you to that limit. It really just depends on how many people are in the field. That's like the biggest thing. And then obviously if you play A tiers or things like that, you get more points per person that you beat than you would at like a C tier. So you could just get, play kind of average and get a crap load of points and basically find yourself getting an invitation. I like to think that I played slightly better than that. I mean, I did play a lot of tournaments to get there. Part of that was because the MA1 field was really small and I did only play MA1. so a lot of times I wasn't beating a lot of people. Um, but I like to think that I'm here with at least some chance to perform decently. I'm not coming to this thing like 860 rated or something, right? I'm in that tier where I could theoretically maybe make the final cut if I play really well across the entire uh, series of rounds. I have no uh, illusions that I am going to be walking out on top of this thing. I know as of the last rating update, the two top rated guys in the division are over 1,000 rated. So, um, yeah, there's definitely a tier above where I'm at, but I'm just really hoping that I can maybe be near that cut line. Let's see. Yeah, so that's really all it is. You qualify, get play enough events, get enough points the year before, and they will send you an email and a bunch of crap months and months in advance of the tournament saying these are the days that you are allowed to try to register, and then it's just up to you to wait until your day. And so the way the registration works is it's sort of tiered. First, it's the really good players. So if your rating is above, I don't remember, what it was like 960 or something, you get first priority. And there's like a window of time, a couple of weeks or something, that you are allowed to register for the tournament. After that, it goes to international registration. So people from anywhere outside of the U.S. essentially get like another 2-week window or something like that to try to register if they're going to be making the trip over to the U.S. Well, in this case, the U.S. Assuming that the AM World is always held in the U.S. I'm not entirely sure how that works, if it's ever been outside of the U.S., but I imagine most of the market's here, so it's probably here. I don't know. But at any rate, there's that international tier, and then it gets to like the general registration, and that's the one where I think there was, I don't know, maybe 200 or 300. I don't really remember the numbers exactly. Slots available yet after those first 2 windows had closed that everybody was going to be making a mad dash for on the night that it opened. And with all great disc golf scene sort of releases or whatever you want to call it, it was a disaster. Initially the slots, or the window opened, but the slots weren't expanded, so everybody immediately was getting put on the wait list. And then they added more slots, and the people that came after the original people that ended up on the wait list started getting in. So they had to retroactively go back and move people out that had made it in, and people in that were on the wait list. And I do not envy them. And there was a bunch of people that were very upset about it, and whatever. It's something that I think we're all used to now. Anything related to getting into a tournament on disc golf scene, it's just there's always something that seems to go wrong, whether it's on the fault of the TD or on the fault of the disc golf scene, or you just have issues with PayPal or whatever it is. It just seems to be kind of common. So there's a scramble to get in, and thankfully I got in. It did fill up in like probably a couple minutes, maybe. I don't even know. Less than 5, I'm pretty sure. And had a pretty hefty wait list after that. So pretty crazy. But yeah, that's how it sort of works. Once you're in, you get kind of emails about stuff leading up to the tournament here and there, all the way up to about the week before they really start putting out a lot of content. So yeah, that's sort of the overview of how it works and how you get in. I guess next thing we want to talk about is sort of day by day how it goes. I will be sure to try to get some film from each day so that you can kind of hear about the rounds and the things that I learn each day. So yeah, that's where we'll be going next. All right, Saturday. Saturday has been a particularly long day. So I left 3 o'clock this morning from Minnesota, 3 in the morning. Drove, it was about 11 and a half hour drive to get here. basically straight down through Iowa and Missouri, which is always a treat. Very, very long and flat. Um, then cut over through St. Louis. I did get to stop in St. Louis and try St. Louis style pizza for the first time, which I didn't know was a thing, but it was pretty good. Um, Something special about the cheese or something along those lines. Then got into Indiana near my hotel about 2:30, I think it was. Buddy of mine and I went out and played a practice round at Pride's Creek just now. Um, that's gonna be a fun course. It's dangerous though. It reminds me a little bit of like Fountain Hills in Arizona, where all of the like pins on the greens are in really, really dangerous positions. Like it plays around a lake, and if you think of Fountain Hills, they've got the pins like right next to the water on like a peninsula. It feels a lot like that a lot of the time. A lot of water carries, things like that. Only lost one disc, thankfully. It was a fairly brand new Electron Envy, one of the James Conrad ones. But that's not a big deal. The newer ones seem like they're flying with a lot less glide and a lot more overstable, so I hadn't really been jiving with that one anyway, so it's fine. I got plenty of backups. So, yeah, came back, had some dinner at there's a little diner right next to the hotel here called Pip's Pub, which was decent. Turns out sometimes people put sugar on fries. That's something new I learned. Hopefully I never experience that again, but it is a thing, I guess. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I'm exhausted. I've been up a long time. Hoping I can make it to like at least 9 p.m. before I zonk out tonight. And then tomorrow, got some more practice rounds planned, or at least 8 practice rounds planned. Got player check-in, some of that other stuff. So yeah, that's basically it for today. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. All right, it's Sunday. Just got back. It's maybe 3, 4 in the afternoon right now. I don't have my clock. But this morning was sort of an early start. We got out around 7:30 to 8 o'clock. We decided to head out, check out Mesker Park, one of the courses we'll be playing. The very wooded and significantly more difficult Mesker Park. That was a bit of a challenge. It's a fun course. It's definitely difficult. It's a hybrid actually. There's I don't know if it's 2 courses down here or just like all the layout shifts from one to the other. I don't know exactly how it works, but basically they've combined 2 course areas at least to make this so there's some longer, more difficult holes. And yeah, just very wooded, lots of tight gaps. Should be interesting, and it's likely the course that I'll be playing on the first day of the tournament, so it was fun to get out there and check it out. Played pretty well. There's definitely some room for improvement, but overall I was pretty happy, and I think I have a good game plan going into it. So we did that. After that, and we played with a guy from North Carolina, Ian, I think his name was. It was really fun to meet and hang out with him a bit. We then headed over to the Toyota Event Center to get our players packs, which I'll go over in a minute here, and check out the field events. So they had the long distance competition, the putting competition, a skills competition, and a like mini disc golf course, and some other stuff. And not a fly mark, but like there's a tent or 2 of people selling some things. So I didn't talk about it earlier, so I'm going to bring it up now. The cost to get into Worlds was $150, I think, was the entrance fee. Um, there is no prize at all. I mean, there's a trophy for first um, through maybe third, I'm guessing. I don't even know. I didn't pay attention. But no other prize money. It's all just players pack, true AM style. So they're pretty good players packs, and yeah, let's go through that now, because that's probably one of the more interesting things I have to say for you guys. So to start out, they gave us these Prodigy practice field bags. So you got to choose from, there's like 4 or 5 colors, I think, or patterns, I guess. Got that sort of camo-y gray. I actually already have one of these in red. It's fantastic. I love it. I haven't done a review on it, but they're really nice. This one will probably end up in a raffle for the Minnesota Disc Golf Discord or something along those lines, just because I don't need 2 bags worth of discs for field work. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll just start storing them in those bags. All my backups and everything. But anyway, so we got the bag. Got a bunch of other random little things here I can go through. So we got a pair of minis, World Championship stamps on them. So those are kind of neat. From Birdie Fuel, we got a mug. It's a nice orange. And a special blend of coffee for AM Worlds. That's pretty cool. I love Birdie Fuel coffee, by the way. I don't know if I'll do a review on it, but I drink the Wanderlust a lot, and then there's like a chocolate caramel brownie one or something that the Mendahanu twins or whatever, I think they're the ones that made that one. But yeah, it goes to support disc golfers. It's good stuff. It is surprisingly good coffee. I got it just to support James Conrad initially, just as a thing to do, and actually really liked the coffee, so now I order it quite a bit. Me and my wife both love it. So that's neat. Nice mug. Pair of socks with the AM Championship and Toyota logo on it. That's neat. Some of the Zanfell, it's like for Poison Ivy and Poison Oak and stuff. They gave this at the Des Moines Challenge as well, these sample packets. I've never used it, but I've got at least 3 samples now, so that's something to try. Got this water bag, which is going to be very useful. Be very hot this week. I think it's going to average around 95 degrees. Originally, there's 2 days that were over 100, and now I think they're all like 90, anywhere from 94 to 97, I think. That over here. A bunch of stickers and coupons for local, like discount codes and stuff for some local stores and things like that. Got these nifty bag tags, the wood. Kind of neat. I don't do bag tags really, but maybe I can hang it on the wall or something. I don't know. Another sticker with a promo code. Got a nice towel from Skybreed. Pretty nice microfiber towel. Good stuff there. Got something here in this blue package. I have no idea what this is. We'll open it up and find out. Hopefully it's not a one-time use, whatever it is. What the heck? It's like a chamois or something. I have no idea what this is. Feels like a towel. I have no idea what this thing is. It's just a long... I have no idea what this is. It's like thicker than paper towel. And it kind of feels like it's... Is it like a neck towel to keep you cool or something? I don't even frickin' know. It's strange, whatever it is. It feels kind of like a chamois cloth or something. But yeah, I don't know. I may have just ruined it by opening it. I have no clue what that is. Then got some shirts here. So we got a Am Worlds t-shirt with the sponsors and all that on the back. Nice cotton tee. Hard to go wrong with that. We got these bright yellow polos with our names on them, or I'm assuming wearing if you make, lead cards so you look nice. Who knows? But that's decent. I don't know that bright yellow is necessarily what I was looking for, but it's all right. And so I didn't pull this out with the other minis, but this is possibly my favorite thing. This didn't technically come as part of the players pack. There's a dude going around handing all these out to everybody. This Zinger mini is possibly the funnest thing I've ever played with. We played, you had to pay to enter the mini competition, and we didn't in advance, so we weren't allowed to technically be in the competition, but they let us play the course just because it wasn't busy. And so we took these guys, and that was probably the most fun I've had in a while. The mini course was a blast, and these things just fly really well, and they're just a lot of fun. So we played 2 full 9s and then a few extra holes, just screwing around, and man, that was a blast. So yeah, this might be my new favorite thing that's come out of this whole deal. All right, and then last of all, a whole stack of discs. Probably the stuff most people are interested in. Start at the top. So we got a Innova Hawkeye, Star Hawkeye. I have no idea, I've never even heard of a Hawkeye. It says it's a 7.5 -1/1. So supposedly about like a Crave, which in the feel probably about the same. A little domier. Doesn't, yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I probably won't throw it. We'll see. Maybe I'll give it a couple of tosses to see how it flies. Next, we got this like super bright yellow. What is this guy? Discmania Enigma. I do not know what an Enigma is. It feels like it's probably like, I don't know, 11, 12 speed, something like that. I don't know. A little bit of dome to it. Looks like it could be stable to understable. I don't know. It feels nice. The plastic feels decent. I don't know much about Discmania, so I don't really know if these are any good. I think I've heard of it a couple of times from maybe people I play with. But all right, next up, this thing feels fantastic. So Lone Star discs. I don't know the name. So whatever, it's got like a Texas Ranger stamp, so I don't know if that's supposed to be a Ranger. On the back, it's got the sticker that says Bravo. I don't know if you can read that. So I don't know if that's the name of the disc or if that's the plastic type. It almost looks like it could be glow plastic. I'll have to try that out. But it's got a really cool flat, overstable looking profile. Probably like a Pyro or something similar. Maybe a little faster, I'm not sure. Really great feeling disc though. Good feeling plastic too. It's very sort of soft for what I would expect. So I really like this. I might try this one and see what it flies like. Next up, we've got the super sparkly purple something DGA SP line Bonsai. Not sure. It feels like it's probably a 6 or a 7 speed. Pretty neutral looking. Feels pretty good. It looks beautiful. I love this plastic. It's just gorgeous. Beyond that, I have no idea. Maybe give that a whirl. We'll see. Got this beautiful buzz. I don't throw the buzz anymore, but if I did, this would definitely be a candidate for the bag. Just very nice, good swirl. And last, we've got this pretty purple with a rainbow stamp. What is this thing? A trespass. It's got a good dome to it. Maybe stable is slightly overstable, I'm guessing. I don't know what trespass. I've heard of it a million times, but I have no idea what it flies like. Feels kind of nice. It's like, again, probably 11 speed. That'd be my guess. But beautiful colors on plastic, good feeling plastic, good stuff. And yeah, so that's what we got in the players pack. Yeah, so for 150 bucks, get all that. You get to play in the tournament. You might win a trophy. I think that's basically all we're gonna do today. We went out to lunch, found a fantastic little hibachi place that's dirt cheap and like great food in where's Princeton, I think, Indiana. Yamoto, I think it was called. So highly recommend checking that out if you're ever in the area. And yeah, tonight probably just chill. I'll probably do some video editing, maybe mess around with reorganizing my bag for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're probably gonna go play the last course for a practice round, Princeton. I don't think there's any other events going on tonight though. I think tomorrow there's a dinner and stuff, but tonight I think it's pretty clear. So probably just chill, enjoy the evening, see if I'm even remotely hungry enough to go for dinner, but that's about it. So I'll probably just talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, Monday. Monday was our last practice day. So today we went early over to Princeton, which is the longer course on a golf course, more open bomber course, I guess. And we checked that out for the first time. It's a nice property. I will say it's my least favorite of the courses. It didn't have a ton of interesting lines. Pretty much the same recipe for every hole. Grab your biggest bomber driver, fire one off the tee, and then either do it again or, make a putt. So you could basically play the entire course with, 4 or 5 drivers and a putter. It's probably a little more interesting if you've got a cannon, but if you can't throw 450 feet accurately, it's not terribly exciting. A lot of pars. I have a feeling it's going to be tough to shoot under par there. I feel like a good round for me is going to be even, or maybe between even and 2 or 3 over, maybe. I guess we'll see. But it's definitely not super scoreable for me, and was not terribly interesting. So, but that's fine. It's still a decent course. It's still well manicured, and should still be a decent time. It's gonna suck doing that in about 95, 97 degree heat, whatever it was. Let's see, that's gonna be on Wednesday, I think. Because tomorrow I'm at Mesker, the wooded course. But yeah, so we did that in the morning, grabbed some lunch in town at the Palace, which was a nice little whatever American bar food sort of thing. Got a burger and fries and whatnot, and then kind of chilled out in the afternoon before the festivities this evening. At 5 o'clock we went and they had a players dinner. They served us some barbecued chicken and pork and mac and cheese and green beans and whatever, some such sort of buffet thing from a local company. I forget the name of it, Clinkers or Kickers or something like that. I don't remember. It was decent. I mean, as far as mass-produced food can be, it was all right. Met a bunch of people from Minnesota. That was cool. We had a whole table of people from Minnesota, most of whom are going to be in the A group and significantly better than I am. But it was interesting to hear their take on some of the courses and chat about some of the courses back home and stuff. So that was neat. And then following the dinner, they had the players meeting where they had a few presenters, somebody from the city, I can't remember, came and thanked us and welcomed us to the city. They had a parade of all the flags. There's 9 different countries being represented, so each country's flag came in, and they made a whole deal about that. They had some former TDs, because apparently they've held the World Championships for the AM World Championships here a few times in the past. First time was 30 years ago. So they had some, history lessons, and had a couple of TDs that were around that ran the old one that are still hanging out, going to be around for this one. Yeah, just a whole bunch of that stuff. And then they just went over rules and clarifications and things that came up, sort of what to expect about the tournament, your usual players meeting. Yeah, and that was pretty much it. They released us to head back to our tournaments. They said the tee times are posted, so we headed out. So I'm here with a buddy of mine, and he ended up getting first card 8 a.m., like primo time, if you ask me. Be nice and cool, well, cool relatively. And being that it's Mesker, it doesn't really matter that it's early. It's not going to be too wet. The golf course is nasty. When we played this morning, it was real wet. Between, I'm assuming they watered it, and the dew, it was like halfway through the course before it finally was starting to dry up. But Mesker didn't seem that bad when we played the other day, being in the woods and stuff. So I would love that 8 a.m. tee time. Unfortunately, I got the last tee time, last card, 250 in the heat of the day. So thankfully it's a very wooded course, and as long as it's not humid, it should be, all right. It's not going to be pleasant, but we'll manage. So yeah, that's the plan. Tonight I'm going through, gotta make some corrections in my caddy book, update some stuff, change some discs. That I don't know if it was just fatigue towards the end of that round today at Princeton. Being that it's such a long course, you're throwing all out on like every hole. And by the time I got towards the end, there's like 350-foot holes that seemed unreachable. And it wasn't because they were uphill. It just, I don't know, just losing power, or if they're just marked wrong or what. But it felt like they were a long ways off. So gonna kind of revisit some of my notes and just touch up some of that stuff and get some sleep. And I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow all day until my tee time, but we'll see what comes out tomorrow. And I will probably talk to you guys at some point in the evening. All right, Tuesday, first round of the tournament, first actual day of work, and man, that was not good. I shot, I think, the worst rated round I have ever shot. So this was at Mesker Park, the wooded course, usually one of my strengths. And the first 4 holes, I just forgot how to play disc golf, I guess. Couldn't drive, couldn't scramble, couldn't approach. Putts were fine, but some poor decisions, some bad kicks found me going, what was it, double, triple, double single or something like that. I think I was +9 through the first 4 holes. That is a massive hole to dig out of. I did right the train eventually. I birdied, I think, five other holes in total, including 3 of the last 4. I almost got all 4 of the last 4. So it did sort of come together at the end, but man, those first 4 holes just really set the tone. And they really weren't, I mean, granted, they're difficult holes. It was par 4, or it's a, 400 or 500 foot par 3, which is just weird in its own right. And then 2 par 5s, and then a par 4. All long, crazy holes. But I mean, hole 3 is an 800 and some odd foot par 5 that I eagled in the practice round, and I took an 8 today. It was brutal. So that wasn't great. But I felt much better ending my round, shooting, more what I should be capable of. I think I finished with an 863 or something. I don't even know. That might be below this 2 standard deviations for me. It might drop off. I don't even know. But either way, I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. The upside is that I have an early tee time tomorrow, 9:30. That'll give me a little bit cooler weather, and there is a storm moving in, so those playing in the afternoon might get caught in that. So glad I'm not in that group, especially since we're on the golf course. Hopefully the winds don't pick up as part of that. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot else to say about it. It was weird. It was like I didn't feel like I was doing anything drastically different, but nothing was working. And yeah, just nothing from the practice round seemed to play out the same way. So, I mean, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you have a bad round. And usually I'm pretty good when I have rounds. They all stick pretty close to my average. I usually don't have a lot of variance. So I know some people go really low and then really high and really low and really high. And so, it's just one of those low ones, I guess. I don't tend to do a lot of that. But what else? It was hotter than blazes. It was like 95 or 96 degrees. And in the sun, it was just baking. There was not a cloud in the sky. So and the fact that my round started at 250 was really rough too. I don't deal well with that. I didn't have anything to do all day, and that's all I could think of was, well, I should just go to the course, or head towards the course, or whatever. And you end up there hours early, and there's nothing to do but sit in your car or go to a Walmart and walk around. I didn't want to leave my discs out in the baking sun and have them get all warped or something. So yeah, it was just not great. And then the tee times, when you get to the end of the day, tee times are then getting a little late. I think I was supposed to be 250, but we didn't get to actually tee off till like 3:15 because of all the delays from the previous cards or whatever, which it actually isn't bad considering how many people they put through, but still, it means we didn't get finished until close to 7. They have a block party thing going on tonight that we were gonna go to, but finishing the 3.5 hour round at 7 o'clock at night, I just want to go get dinner and just crawl in bed and call it a day and deal with what comes tomorrow, since I now have an early tee time. But it's all right. I didn't come here to win it. I'm still confident that I can play better than I did today and have a good time. And I don't know that I can necessarily come back to make the final cut after a +6 in the first round, but who knows? There could be some pretty big swings, especially on the second time through Mesker or when we get out to Pride's Creek. It's going to be really hard to get through that golf course tomorrow, though. There's not a lot of birdies out there, and I really need some birdies, so I'm going to have to try to throw further than I've thrown before to get some of those in range, because I think there was only about 2 or 3 birdies that I saw initially on the run through there. I was like, yeah, those are probably gettable. The rest of them were tough. So we'll see. But sorry, I didn't get any good footage to go with this part of the this day, just because it was so hot. My phone was overheating and turning off whenever I tried to do videos, so I just didn't bother with it. Plus I was playing like crap and it was hot and I was just miserable, so I was like, you know what, we'll forget the video. So hopefully maybe I'll get some tomorrow when it's not as hot out at the golf course. But yeah, that's about all I got for today. Sometimes you get knocked down, and that was today. But I'll see you guys tomorrow when I pick myself up. All right, we arrived at Wednesday, round 2. Today was a significant improvement over yesterday. It's not going to sound it. I finished +2, but the course plays significantly harder than Mesker, so That ended up being a 950 something rated round. So roughly 100 points better than my previous round. So that was good. That made up a lot of ground. I made up a pretty decent chunk of, or jump, I should say, in the standings. Still in the B pool. The reshuffle happens after this round, and so some of B pool will move up, some A pool moves down. So I still am down in the B pool, but I did move up a bit, and I'll end up again with a late 1:30 tea time tomorrow, which is good in that I played well, but bad in that I hate the late tea time. Yeah, so it was just a phenomenal day today for me out on that course. As I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of the Princeton course, just because it's very much just long bomb shots until you get to putt. Not too many interesting lines, but there's a lot of OB that kind of can come into play. And it was slightly windy off and on today, as well as being 94 or 5 degrees or something like that. It started a little cooler. It was probably only 90 when I got there because I played at 9:30, but it ratcheted up pretty fast. PDGA did an awesome job of having water everywhere and a bunch of tents set up for you to get some shade. But yeah, name of the game was just staying in the shade. Everybody had their umbrellas and stuff going, and just trying to do their best with the conditions. I just threw really well today. Only had a couple birdies, but didn't make too many big mistakes either. So that was really nice. There's not a ton to say. I had hoped to get more video today, but it was, again, super hot, so my phone just kept overheating. So I got a couple of shots, but mostly just going to have to deal with my voice, I guess, for today. It was a good card. The rest of my card didn't fare quite as well. One guy is pretty close to where I'm at for tomorrow. And tomorrow I will be headed to Mesker Woods again, because that is where the B pool is headed. So I won't get to play the last course until the last day, which is kind of nice because that's a course where you can lose a lot of discs, and I'd much rather have that be my last, or most likely my last course. Yeah, not a whole lot else to say about today. I'm just very happy I was able to turn it around and play more like I expect to. I left a couple out there, but nothing that I'm going to complain about. You can't make them all. And my putting was really hot today. I had a lot of sort of medium to long circle one looks and made all but one of them. So that's always really nice, especially if there's any kind of wind. It's nice to be able to knock those down and have that confidence. So yeah, it's a good time, and I'm looking forward to getting some redemption tomorrow on Mesker Woods. Specifically those first 4 holes. If I can come through there, not +8 or 9 or whatever it was, I think that's a pretty big victory. It'll make me feel a whole lot better for the rest of the course, and there are some birdieable stretches to the rest of that course, so I could make up some ground again tomorrow if I can shoot pretty well. So yeah, hopefully I'll have some good news to report tomorrow. Oh, we did go to the Fly Mart tonight. That was the other thing we did today. So they had the Fly Mart set up at the Toyota Center. Had, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 different vendor tent things set up. The big draw was a release of some Halo plastic discs or something along those lines, and then Brody Smith was there signing stuff for Discraft. And yeah, it was fun. Walked around, tried some new plastics. I'm still really, I know I'm, a big MVP fan, but I was really impressed with some of the molds from Lone Star. If you've never heard of them, their Bravo plastic is probably one of my favorite plastic feels. And they have a weird little lid slammer looking thing called the Dillo, which I was really tempted to try. If it had different flight numbers, I probably would have pulled the trigger on it. Just for a really slow, stupid, overstable putter is what I wanted. But it's sort of a neutral straight putter, and that's just not exactly what I'm looking for. So, yeah, didn't end up buying anything. I was looking for jets, and they only had like 3. One of them was lightweight, the other 2 were green. So I ended up just sort of passing on those. Plus, they were the stock run, and I'm not a huge fan of the stock streamlined stamps. The weird triangle thing doesn't do much for me. So, but yeah, so that was it. And then we had pizza down in Evansville at a place called Pangea. It's the second night that we actually ate there. It is by far the best thing we've come across here in Indiana so far. If you get a chance, definitely check that out. It's not just good for Southern Indiana. It's like good everywhere. Good. Some of the best pizza that I've ever had. And they also do like it's weird. So they do Detroit style pizza, Neapolitan pizza, and like Thai, I think it is, dishes. So I've only gotten the Detroit style pizza. It was so good I had to get it again. But we may end up going back again to try the pasta because some of those look really, really good as well. So anyway, that was the night and the day. Nothing else I'm going to say tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with some good news. Hey guys, Thursday. Sorry about the noise, the live band next door, and it's probably going to pick up on here, but I want to get this done before I forget what I was going to say. So, today I was back at Mesker Park looking to get some revenge on that course. It did not happen. It was actually pretty much a repeat of last time. First few holes killed me, got me off in a big old hole to start, and then I, fought and clawed and pulled a bunch of birdies out in the back. But yeah, it's not enough to offset the bad start. So I think I was +5 through the first 3 holes. Something like that. Because I think I raced all 5 of those strokes with the birdies, but then I picked up 2 more later on and ended up +2. Just painful. That's a course I should easily be able to shoot, 3 to 6 down. Seems very reasonable out there. There's a lot of scoreable holes, and it's just those first couple holes just got me both times. Combination of poor shots for sure. I mean, it was definitely a lot of it was me, but also just any time I misfired any sort of shot today, it felt like those 50-50 kicks were only going the one way, which really hurts when it's already bad. It just makes it worse every time. So it felt like I never really got any of the decent breaks to offset some of my poor play, which is something apparently I rely on a bit in my game. So whatever, it happens. Overall, the rest of the round felt as good or better as last time. Score reflected that. And I came out 1 stroke better in those first 4 holes, so there is that. But yeah, there's just a lot that could have been cleaned up, and just I don't know if it's the late tee times or weird. I don't feel like I have any sort of jitters or issues with like competition. I've never really noticed anything like that. Obviously, yesterday I played just fine. Just these opening holes, long par 4s and 5s in the woods, apparently are not the way that my body wants to start a round of disc golf. So that's what it was. But that's all right. Tomorrow I get to play my last round. There's almost no chance that I make the cut now. I had pretty much no chance going into today unless I shot double digits down both today and tomorrow, which that obviously didn't happen. So playing Pride's Creek tomorrow, sort of the park course near the water. That one's supposed to be really scoreable, and I mean, if I can shoot 10 down, I think at least erase all the rest of the bad from this week and get me back to even. I just love to shoot under par because I know I can shoot under par at Mesker and at Pride's Creek, no problem. So shoot under on at least one of them would be nice. Princeton's the only one where, I mean, if I shot even, I would be ecstatic. The +2 that I had was amazing in my mind. So, yeah, that's the plan. Went dinner again at PDGA. We tried the Thai this time. That place is just phenomenal. You gotta go if you're in the area. Great car today. Really good vibe. Another guy from Minnesota on the car, George. Also a exclusively MVP thrower, so that was cool. Also, so hole one at Mesker Park is a 500-foot par three, roughly. Nobody has gotten the 2 on it this entire time of the 3 rounds that have been played there. It's all pars and a lot worse. Like, pars have been playing like birdies. And one of the guys on our card tosses a putter up about halfway up the fairway and gets stuck behind like directly under a little park bench thing, right? So he's got this weird patent pending sort of awful stance, right? And you got to throw around a bush on this patent pending shot towards the basket. It's probably, I don't know, 180, 200 feet, something like that, I think. Drives just a laser beam of a putter directly into the chains for the only 2. It was better than an ace, and we were hooting and hollering. It was crazy. Signed his disc, took pictures at the end. It was pretty fun. But yeah, so unless somebody from the A pool tomorrow goes out and shoots a 2, that'll be the only 2 for the entire tournament on that hole. The only birdie on that hole. So that was pretty sweet to see. But yeah, just a really good vibe on the card. It was fun. Even at the worst times, it was just, whatever. At this point, all of us have kind of accepted that we're not in the mix, and we're just kind of, helping each other out and having a good time. So it was more like playing around with your friends than it was a true competitive feel. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, that's all for today. I did hopefully overlay some footage. I got a little bit, not a ton, because I was also playing scorekeeper, and I kept forgetting about the camera stuff, so that one's on me this time, not the weather. And maybe I can find some time to get some shots at Pride's Creek tomorrow. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys after the final round for me tomorrow. Hey guys, Friday, final day for me of AM Worlds. There's still the finals tomorrow, but I did not make the cut. Today was the last round at Pride's Creek, the only course that we hadn't played yet. As I'd mentioned previously, it's sort of a park course, but some really dangerous greens right near the water's edge. There's a lot of water that comes into play, a lot of water crossings. Yeah, it's a really fun course. I actually really like that course. It's probably my favorite of the 3. I think Mesker is probably the highest skill level one, but Pride's Creek's just a lot of fun. I'd play that a lot if it was near me. Overall, today I ended up shooting 2 under. It was fine. It was like 920 rated round or something. Definitely not the best I could have done. I think I only got like 6 birds, and some awful bogeys that shouldn't have happened. The worst part was all week when I struggled. So basically both times at Mesker Woods, it felt like my drives were killing me. Couldn't hit lines, things like that. But consistently, rounds 1, 2, and 3, my putting was just on point. Everything inside circle 1 was going in. I think I missed 2 putts in the first 3 rounds that I was, thinking, oh, I should have made that. So get out there today, and the drives were all on point. Everything was great, but the putt was gone. I couldn't hit a putt to save my life. I probably two-putted at least half of the holes out there. I had so many birdie opportunities. It's a very scoreable course. And some of those were, birdies, and then there was a few bogey that should have been pars. It was just not a great day for putting. It was unfortunate. That really could have been a good round, and it would have been a great way to finish out. Probably a handful under. Instead, 2 under. I mean, at least I got under par. That was nice to at least get one round under par. Not my best showing, but still a good time. Another good card. Another Minnesota guy, Logan Greeley. He shot really well. They shot 8 down, I think it was. He was making his putts, but we were kind of matching a lot of our drives, landing in the same places and stuff. It was kind of fun. Yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to say about Pride's Creek. I did, as a consolation prize, when I got off the 18th green, they had a vendor set up, and I found a misprint Electron Pilot and a misprint Electron Envy, and I snatched those both up for $10 a piece and said, hey, that's my prize for coming out here, I guess. Yeah, so that's pretty much how the day went. Gonna finish out today, just going out and grab some dinner. I've been watching some of the coverage of the Preserve Championship, which started today. And yeah, that's today. That's Friday. I'll move in to a kind of final thoughts here. So the tournament as a whole was really fun, a great experience. Glad I came out. It was pretty well run. There were things here and there that you can nitpick, but overall it was a good experience, and I didn't feel like it was half-assed or anything like that. Like they put in a lot of time and effort. A lot of great volunteers and the spotters. So many things that would have been so much worse without those guys out there. So yeah, it was a really good time. I found out that 4 rounds, well, technically like 7 rounds, because the practice rounds in a row, even doing just one a day is a lot, and I don't know that it's gonna bring out the best in me as a disc golfer to do that. I would have to work on making sure that I'm playing more often to make sure I'm not running into issues in the later rounds. I felt like I was dropping power towards the end of the tournament. The last 2 rounds felt like I just couldn't get the snap that I was used to. I was just kind of getting fatigued earlier in the rounds. So that was something interesting to note. The location out here was all right. There wasn't as much to do around here in our free time as we maybe would have liked based on where we chose our hotel, because of the way the courses were all spread out. We tried to pick something in the middle, and that kind of leads you away from a lot of the food and the activities and things, to where it's like, do I really want to drive a half hour to go check this thing out or not? So I'd maybe change that next time, and I'd try to find a place either near one side or the other, wherever the events are happening, or wherever the nearest big town is, or something like that, just to kind of fill in some of that, the rest of the experience while we're here. It wasn't so bad on the tournament days, because you're so exhausted by the time you're done. You don't really want to go do much anyway, other than grab some dinner and just kind of get ready for the next round. So that wasn't so bad. But some of those practice days, it was like, all right, we did a quick practice round and kind of casual, and now we've got all this time to burn. What do we want to do? So yeah, that was maybe one thing I'd change. I'd definitely come back again to another big tournament of this caliber. I don't know if I would do Am Worlds or not. It would depend on the location. I think next year it's at Idlewild or something. in Illinois. I don't remember. I don't know if I'd be super stoked to do that one, but if it was in a really fun location, I would probably do this thing again. Otherwise, I think I enjoyed like the Des Moines Challenge. I think I enjoyed that more, going to like an elite national tour stop kind of thing and doing the AM side of one of those. Um, I think it's just a slightly shorter time period, preferably less courses. I feel like that's the other thing that killed us, both here and when we did the Des Moines Challenge. Is you got to learn 3 courses. Like you play them one time basically, and not even one time for the Des Moines Challenge. Um, it's really hard to do that and then come out and play a tournament and expect to do well. It'd be really nice if you could find a big tournament that sort of has 1 or maybe 2 courses. I think that would be preferable, but I don't know if those are out there. I haven't looked to see if there's any that are nearby worth traveling to. I kind of wish that the Preserve Championship had an AM side event. Not sure how they'd do that with the Black Bear layout and everything, but it'd be fun. Anyway, yeah, so that's been my Worlds experience. If you have specific questions, if you're thinking about maybe checking it out next year and you want to find out more about something I didn't talk about, feel free to drop a comment. If there's things that I left out you want to know about just because you're curious, feel free to ask those questions. Otherwise, hopefully I will start putting out a little bit more content. I do have some new equipment that will hopefully make it easier for me to, go out and film some reviews and practice rounds and things like that more easily on my own. And yeah, that's really all I've got. Thanks for sticking with. If you came all the way to the end of this thing, I know it was long, but it's good to get these thoughts out here. So sometime down the road, I'll be able to come back and remember some of this stuff. So thanks for taking the time to watch, and we'll catch you in the next one.